Hi, Diamond Girls. It's me, Adrienne Everheart. I hope you're all doing excellent today. I want to talk about, is a man truly dating you or is he love bombing you? I'm going to help you figure out the difference between truly dating and love bombing because the two can feel very similar and be really confusing about which is which. Now, I want to first start off by telling you a little bit about what I do and how I help women. I'm a feminine energy dating and relationship coach. And so often women come to me because the relationship started off feeling so good and so powerful. It felt like a fairy tale and it was really moving too fast. And this is when you need to pause. This is when we're moving to this area of love bombing instead of true dating. So, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what men do that really can be so convincing that you may not even recognize it's happening to you. It's so convincing, it's so alluring, it feels so good that you have no idea until suddenly the relationship's gone and you've been love bombed. I'm also going to talk about, why do men love bomb? Why do they do this? What do they get out of it? So I really want to start off by saying that if you've been love bombed before, it is a crushing feeling like none other, because you really go into the relationship believing it's something powerful, wonderful, and good. And then you're just left, blindsided. You have no idea what's happened. You're devastated. Now, let's start off with here. Why do women get love bombed? What happens to us? What's going on in our chemistry and in our makeup and in our mindset that just allows us to be love bombed? So I talk about this as your jumping off point. Your jumping off point is this place that you're starting where you're at organically. Are you recently heartbroken? Are you are you starting a new job? Have you just, had a major life change, such as divorce or even graduating college or moving to a new area? Where's your starting off point? Are you feeling bad and low about yourself? Or are you feeling really good, excited, on top of the world? Most of the time when you get love bombed, it's because your starting off place is a low energy vibrational space. So when I was love bombed, I was just newly separated and working on getting a divorce. And so many women I've worked with, they're newly divorced, or it's the first man they've dated after their divorce, or it's the first man they've dated after their breakup. And along comes this guy. So I want you to look back, if you've been love bombed before, and pay really, really close attention to where your feelings were during that time. What were you thinking about yourself? How were you feeling about yourself? Were you in a bad situation? Now, going forward into dating, this is where you want to get that jumping off place, your starting place. You want it to be in a really healthy, solid mind, physical, spiritual, mental. You want to be in a good place with yourself. You will never reach perfection, but you will be in a place of, I am in alignment with my values. Now, that's what I teach you how to do. That is the biggest thing women have trouble doing, is finding what it is they truly want in a partner. Because so often we're hung up on another man or other values, and we are becoming someone different. Who you are becoming is not who you were a year ago or even 6 months ago when a man broke your heart. You have become someone different. And often we need to realign with that. We need to find out what that is. And that's what I help you do. Now, let's talk about why men love bomb. Why is there a certain type of man that does this? I have talked about the movie Sideways before. If you've ever seen it, it's a fabulous movie. But there is a man in the movie who meets a single mom and love bombs the heck out of her. I mean, just comes on strong. And here's why men do it. They're having a great time with you. They're love bombing you. You're all into them. It's like a fairy tale. It feels amazing. They're high on love. You're high on love. But somewhere in the back of their mind, they know it's not going to last. So they make it like a last hurrah. They make it like your last meal, and this is just going to be awesome. They give you amazing attention. They make love to you. They feel like you're the center of their universe. You're the only woman in the world. I remember Rihanna had this really popular song about you make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world. And that is exactly how I felt with the artist, because nothing else was happening in his world except Adrienne. It was just Adrienne. And it was amazing, but it was love bombing. Because in reality, you're going to have a person who they have other things going on in their life, but they're still willing to give a good amount of time, connection, and commitment to you. It's going to feel very different. So men love bomb because it is a way to ego stroke for them. Men are very much in the moment. Men are in the future like women tend to be. Men are in the moment where it feels good, so they do it and they have fun. They're not thinking about tomorrow. And that's why they give you everything. And they talk about like things like this. So here's the first thing I want you to look out for. One day I want to live in Brazil. One day I want to go to this place. Or one day I want to do this thing. And so they're using a lot of I language and not we language. I'd love to have a house by the water. They would say these things, and they might even do something like, maybe one day we could live here, and they'll use a we, but it is such a dream thing and it's happening way too soon. So the first thing I want you to look out for is that I language. He'll have a lot of I language. And if he dreams too big and dreams too much in the future, that's where you've got a problem. It's time to pause. So I remember early on with the artist, he told me like, oh, just you wait for the when I do ask you to marry me, it's going to be a big deal. And I just saw in his eyes, like carousels and Ferris wheels and fireworks. And I saw all these amazing things because that was all in his head. But how could he know that he wanted to marry me? He had only known me a few months, you see. Now, some of you might say, well, when I meet someone I want to spend the rest of my life with, I know pretty soon I want to spend the rest of my life with that person. And that can be true. You can meet someone and be like, I think this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. But you're going to have highs and lows in that process. You're going to get into arguments. You're not going to like each other. You're going to have to figure out how to solve big life problems. You're going to have hard discussions. And when you're with a love bomber, they don't do hard discussions. They may argue with you and they may actually enjoy that arguing or that exchange. But we're talking about, here's a hard problem. We are going to problem solve. We're going to move into the future together. So do you see how that would be different? So that's the other thing you want to look out for is it all fairy tale and honey, whatever you want, however you want it, I want to do it. Or are they actually able to problem solve? And do you have problems? Do you have actual problems? So with me and the artist, one of the love bombing problems that I had was this hot and cold and the back and forth. And so it was like I was the center of his world. And if I didn't have time to call him one afternoon, he'd call me and be like, are you going to break up with me? And I'm like, no, I would never do that. I'm just busy with my life. And so he was really insecure whenever I had to pull away. And then that made me feel like I need to give him more so he would be okay. And what was happening is I was being love bombed. And then on top of that, that love bombing has a period of great intensity, how wonderful it feels. They are just on dopamine sky high, these men. And the woman is like, Mom, Dad, I think I've met the guy I'm going to marry. We're telling all our girlfriends, we're buying a few bridal magazines. And then the guy is just living in this dopamine world where it's all whirlwind and magical, but we haven't gotten to the hard part, the sticky part, the difficult part where we start to problem solve. Now, another thing is we're talking about energy, that creating a fight, creating an argument, creating something wrong. Well, you might think, oh, I'm not being love bombed, Adrienne, because we're having arguments and we're problem solving together, or are you? All right. So when you're in that phase of love bombing, if this man is already the type of man who's going to love bomb you, he is addicted to a certain type of drama. He is addicted to getting a certain amount of attention and chaos in his life. And love bombers can often come to you already in chaos. Oh, they just got a new business. They just started a new job. They're temporarily out of work. It just happened a few weeks ago, and it's a really crappy time to meet the woman of his dreams. And they just always have these excuses or this sort of bigger problem on their shoulders. So, occasionally you will meet a man who, maybe just lost his job, but you'll know the difference because you'll have more of these signs showing up. But when you're being love bombed and you have someone who's wanting to make love to you all the time and you can do no wrong in their eyes, you're really not aware of that other feeling. So with the artist, the love bombing was so strong that one particular night on the phone with him, I said a word he did not like, a descriptive word. And I had no idea this was going to be such a triggering word. I had no idea. He got really, really short and mad with me quickly and in a creepy, weird way that I've actually never felt with a person before. I can only describe it as you're just talking to a person 1 minute and they just become a complete shadow the next. It was the strangest thing. And so here I am, my jumping off places. I'm newly separated. I'm living all alone by myself. I've met this great guy who's love bombing me. I have no idea. I say the wrong thing. And he went stone cold, dead quiet, mean, angry. I heard him heavy breathing, getting very quiet, and just his expectation of me to know exactly what to say to him. It felt so alienating. But again, I'm in a love-starved place. And so love bombers will often do this to you because that's the reason they're love bombing. This is how they get love. They have these little short, sporadic relationships with women, and they don't know how to handle or regulate their emotions. All they know how to do are have these short, sporadic relationships with women. And that's why it can feel so chaotic. The problem is that it triggers women with, that jumping off place is a scary place, wounded inner girl. Or if you're in your masculine energy, you really want to fix a man, you really want to help a man. So it really messes with our heads in terms of, I really want to build this relationship with this wonderful man who's love bombing me. So how do I do that? You see how that creates so much inner conflict. Now I am going to take a couple of questions because I'm offering a new course called Femme Dating Fast Tracked. This is a power up to my Femme Dating course that I created about 2 years ago. This is going to be 3 live training classes that you get with me. You get to ask questions, participate in the group. It's going to be 3 of those trainings. So we get to deep dive into whatever your relationship or dating life situation is, because I want to get you from dating, bypassing love bombing, bypassing any sort of time wasters, and on to married. This is where you want to be, is happily married, or a hand tying ceremony or some sort of special ceremony. I have thousands of testimonials of so many women I've helped do exactly that. And you're no different. And I'm going to help you because it's not you. It's not the guys on the dating apps. It's not the dating apps. It's not the state of the world. There are things in your sequencing and your energy. There's things that you're accepting. There's other things you're denying. I help you figure all of that out and heal your feminine energy, which is the most important part, because masculine energy is really what makes us so tough on the outside that's what repels a good guy. And then meanwhile, wounded inner girl or our jumping off place is so hurt that we attract the other type of guy. Yeah. So you want to think about that short, fast solution. That's a love bomber. And wounded women attract the short, fast solutions because we're also tough on the outside. Love bombers don't care about that. They love a tough woman on the outside because they want to crack away at all your little, they want to get inside. They want to hold your heart and then be like, okay, I'm done. That's what love bombers do. So I teach you how to dismantle that tough exterior, but also heal your inner girl so that you can invite love in, but also have the wisdom and the boundaries, understand dating sequencing so that you know the difference between, is this something I'm truly feeling, or is wounded girl being just like held up on a pedestal temporarily? Right? This is how women get hurt. And give me a thumbs up on this video if you have experienced this or you know someone who has. And definitely, I would love to take a couple of questions. I'm going to share a couple more tips with you. And if you have a question, I love dating relationship question. I will absolutely want to answer your question before we go. And I'll have Fem Fast Track in the links below. You can still get early bird pricing for this. It also contains 20 plus dating modules. So you can learn very quickly, very succinctly. This is information that, you can process and assimilate easily so that you can put this into your life, because it's not a lot of do this, don't do that. This is psychology broken down into smaller pieces that we can understand and digest. This is the wonderful thing that coaches can do. We take complicated material and we make it easy for you to understand, and we motivate you and give you a lot of other tools on not just what it is, but how to use it, when to use it, and what, how to put that into your world with your words, your actions, things like this. So this was a big one with love bombers. And after the artist, I did attract a few more love bombers, but I was able to recognize them pretty quickly. I knew their game pretty fast, and I knew how to kind of test for this a little bit. But again, you will reach a place with a love bomber where you just know it when you see it. You'll get a sense about you, hopefully. At least I did, but that's what I'm here to teach you. So when I let the artist and the other love bombers know a little bit about my vision in life, that I wanted to have a family, or, be married one day and have a peaceful, wonderful life. I wanted to have a beautiful house with a garden. They would do this. Yeah. And then other times it'd be like, yeah, tell me more. And they'd be giving me the act. But most of the time, they will give you the far away, worried look, and then they'll start to share something about themselves. And that was a big one, is that you're taking this time to be vulnerable and share your vision of life. And I really want to travel with my partner, and I want to create a home that just feels like a sanctuary. And you want to pay close attention to whether they, light up and contribute and engage, or do they go, oh yeah, well, my sister did that. And oh yeah, one day I was thinking about this. Or do they get quiet and change the subject? So that's going to be a really big indicator to love bombing. And then the most important thing with love bombing is time and proximity. A man must live near you. And this is something that I go over in depth in Fem Fast Track. is that proximity is the biggest killer for most women in their dating relationships. And the other thing it does, it brings your energy right down because you're dating a man that's far away or he doesn't have enough time, he's not available, and you feel terrible in the process. And it really wears on you. So proximity is so important, making sure he is available to truly date. And does he keep his words? Do his words align with his actions and time? So I was with the artist for almost 9 months, but it was the choppiest, topsy-turvy 9 months of my life. And with time, you're going to see consistency with the right man. Okay. So I'm trying to see some comments here, but I'm having a little trouble with my streaming service and I can't see. I see them, but I can't see them. I can't click on them. But if you have a question, you're on like YouTube or IG, you can try to ask me a question in the comments. Okay. Lynette says her guy is super consistent, courted her, took her on wonderful dates. His actions met his words, and she's in a good energy. She's done the work. And then there's 2 days of no texts and no phone call. So this can be that kind of classic pulling away that men can do. And this is where if things have been going really well, you reach out. You can do the really famous, like little upside down smiley face with a question mark. If you want to be playful, you can do the ellipses and a little question mark. But I would just reach out and say, hey, I've missed you. How's everything going? And just see what you get back. So there's chasing and pursuing, and then there's just like, I am entitled to know what is going on with my life. This has felt really good. What's happened? Did you fall off the planet? But be playful and caring about it. Okay, so I was able to see that comment. And let's see if this other one popped up here. Yeah, gosh, guys, I'm sorry. They're still blurred out. So I'm sure I'm missing some of your questions, but I do hope you join me for Femme Fast Track. This is for women who want to become a wife. It'll only take you a minute to check out some of my testimonials on my website, everheartcoaching.com. I've got thousands of them. I have more that pour in every day that I can't even get to and get my assistant to put into Canva and make images because what I'm teaching you works. I teach you methods that work because what I'm doing is eliminating a lot of where wounded inner child and masculine energy block you from creating a loving, long-lasting relationship with a partner. And that's exactly what happens to so many women is we have these blocks. We block ourselves, we block the man, and then we also don't exactly know what we're looking for. And that's a big one I teach you, like a New Man Manifesto. All right, everybody, I hope this has been helpful. I hope to see you in my course. It kicks off in a couple of weeks. Early bird pricing ends, I think, tomorrow, and I hope to see you then. Bye.